Jabari. Jabari is hey, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. We didn't want to do a lot of formalities because
Morning.
State Senator from New York, Jabari Brisport. Thank you for coming back on the show. How are you today, man?
I'm great. I really appreciate you giving me a chance to come on and chat about this. I can't thank you enough, man.
Oh no, absolutely. When I saw you tweeting about it, listen, we're for Medicare for all. We're for a single payer system. We are for changing this system fundamentally from a philosophical perspective, even because you and I agree that people should not be making money profiting off of the sick and the dying. And you guys are making progress to that end. Tell us about what's happening in New York.
Yeah, so basically, New York is one of a few states that is attempting to pass single payer at the state level. I know Vermont had a thing, California, I think Washington's doing it. And in New York, it's called the New York Health Act. It's been introduced year after year for 3 decades now, since 1992. And the politics in New York are such that we have never been closer than we are right now to passing it. This is the only time in the past 3 decades it's been introduced that we have a majority of co-sponsors in the state assembly and in the state senate. And this is the time to do it. And our legislative session in New York ends in a week from now. It ends June 10th. So it's now or never.
It's now or never. Here's the thing that I think a lot of people tell us what are some of the impediments that you're seeing? What are some of the opposition forces that you're seeing that we can use our energy to publicly address?
I mean, the main opposition force right now is inertia. It's lobbying from insurance companies, from the right, calling and putting pressure on legislators to vote no or just to stall it. And honestly, the problem right now is not that it might come to a vote and be voted down. The problem right now is that it might not even come to a vote. So we need intense pressure just to bring it to a vote. I'm convinced that if it comes to a vote, it will pass. It's just being stalled, and we have a week to get it to come to a vote.
Rebecca, you want to get in there?
Yes. When it comes to the New York Health Act, what are some of the specific things that you would say that are in this act that would, I mean, not to say that none of it is not great, but what are some of the specific things that right now would be something that people would help people in the right now? Like,
What would they get? What would drive them out there? What is the motivating factor? Tell us what is so good about this bill.
So for the bill itself, it is single payer universal coverage to all New Yorkers, regardless of employment, regardless of documentation, regardless of every New Yorker has access to it. And if you are working in New York, but maybe live in New Jersey or live elsewhere, you will be entitled to the New York Health Act. Also, if you are a New Yorker who goes and retires out of state, it will apply to you. And that's a key selling point for some people that have current coverage through their job, and their job says if you retire and move to Florida or whatever, we still cover you. Same thing for the New York Health Act. So it covers you. It covers you. And it's like we all know from single payer, no co-pays, no deductibles, no worry about is this person in my network or that network. This is it.
Yeah, so no, that sold me. Hey, I'm moving to New York, honey. No, seriously, that I asked that because people may hear this and see this, and a lot of times, a lot of these legislations or acts or anything that is pushed out there is not really, people don't understand what it is, so they're not going to fight behind it. They're not going to want it. They're not going to know. When I lived in New York, I didn't know that I was going to be able to get health care. I just walked in somewhere, and this woman was like, hey, you live in New York now. Here's how we can give you some health care, and it could be free for you if you align with these things. I'm like, I didn't even know that. And I put all my friends onto it as well. So this is why I asked that, because there are a lot of people who just aren't knowledgeable. And I think everything that you named just now,
everything that you said is,
I'm sold.
It's what people need to be hammering, right? There should be no inertia around this, but this is so fascinating. You said this has been coming up every year, every session for the last 30 years. What has held it back so far? Because I think I need people to understand the fight for Medicare for all across the entire country. We're going to see some of the same forces that you guys are seeing right there. What took 30 years to get to this point?
The main thing was Republicans. Like, New York is a deep blue state, but it's really gerrymandered, and the Republicans happen to be in control every time we drew the lines for 3 decades. This is the first time that Democrats have controlled the New York State Senate for more than 2 years at a time. This is this is the first time we've ever had a supermajority of Democrats in the state Senate. The politics of New York has shifted so much in the past 3 years. We have never, this opportunity has never come up. And I don't know if it's going to come up again. We're also coming right off a pandemic. It's a confluence of factors that this is the opportunity. And if we don't seize it, I don't know if people want to do it next year, because next year we have elections and and the New York Health Act involves changing taxes, and no one wants to touch taxes during election year, especially the people in the more marginal, moderate districts. So this is the year to do it.
This is the now. Senator, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say, I know you have to get out of here, but I want to ask. I want to ask this. I want to level the question up.
Yes.
If we get this to a vote, are there any Democrats in New York, like we have on the federal level, like Sinema and Manchin, who are so blue dog, who want so much to hold things the same? Is there any Democratic opposition? If you guys got the power and we get it to a vote, is it going to pass, or are there going to be some Sinemas and Manchins in your state assembly?
We have some blue dogs, but the thing about the Democratic Senate right now is that we have a supermajority. So that's what's great now also is that we actually don't need every Democrat to be on top of it.
Wow.
We have Sinema's Mansions ideologically, but in this case, their votes don't matter. We have a majority of votes, even if they vote no, which they will. That's also been a holdup. We have a supermajority. So this is it. And can I just do a quick pitch on why everyone nationally should be focusing on this?
Yeah.
Okay. So some of people might be asking, like, why we focus on the state so hardcore, why not federal? Well, one, we know Biden doesn't support it. We have the Sinemans, the Mansions, but also, like, in Canada, they passed it in Saskatchewan first, saw that it worked, and then expanded it nationwide. So if some state can be the first to do that, and New York can be that in the next 7 days, we can pass it here, show that it works, and expand it nationwide.
Wow.
Yeah. I love that. And listen, if that would be something in New York,
that'll set everybody free.
That'll set us free. And I know it'll take some time, but I hear the fervor in your voice. I hear you're like, we got to get it done right now. If we don't get it done now, it's never going to happen. This is the time. We have the power. Like we were just talking to Nomiki, who was speaking very highly of you as well. She was saying, like, right now we need to be using the power. Everybody else is on the side that has, that's the Kirsten Sinemas. Okay, bye. Because we got the power right now. Let's make sure we move on it. Let's take advantage of this opportunity now, and let's get it going. Senator, is there any way that any one of our New York followers or New York viewers can have a phone number to figure more about this out, or a website they can go on for more information?
If you Google Campaign for New York Health, that'll take you right to their website. Plug in. There's actions coming up. There's a bunch of stuff happening in the next few days to build up more pressure for this. Campaign for New York Health.